Welcome to the final part of the story. We are excited to continue. If you have not had a chance to watch the previous parts of the story yet, be sure to click the links in the description below to catch up. Let us continue our story. As the day of the ultimate confrontation approached, the atmosphere at Apex Solutions crackled with tension. Employees could feel the weight of what was about to unfold. On one side stood Maya and her coalition, united in their vision for a more inclusive workplace. On the other side loomed David and his loyalists, determined to maintain their grip on power. Maya gathered her allies one last time before the meeting, their faces reflecting a mix of determination and apprehension. They reviewed their arguments, ensuring everyone was clear on their roles and ready to counter any attacks from David's faction. The stakes were higher than ever, and they knew that this meeting could determine the future of the company. Before we continue with the story, you should comment where you are watching from. If you are enjoying this story, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. We have another episode for you tomorrow. As they prepared, Maya reminded them of everything they had accomplished together. They had built a strong coalition based on trust and shared goals, and they were ready to fight for what was right. Each member of the group had a personal stake in this battle, and that passion fueled their resolve. Meanwhile, David's faction was equally determined. They strategized behind closed doors, plotting ways to undermine Maya's credibility and discredit her initiatives. David was more aggressive than ever, aware that he was losing control over the narrative within Apex Solutions. He knew that if Maya succeeded, it would change the company forever. Tensions escalated as both sides prepared for what would be a decisive showdown. Employees whispered in hallways, speculating about how the meeting would unfold. Some expressed support for Maya's vision, while others remained loyal to David, unsure of how to navigate the shifting dynamics within the company. As the time for the meeting drew near, Maya felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She understood that this confrontation would not just be about policies or initiatives. It was about challenging a culture that had allowed disrespect and elitism to thrive for too long. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of the strength she drew from her allies. In the conference room, employees filed in, taking their seats with palpable anticipation. The air was thick with uncertainty as both factions prepared for battle. Maya looked around at her coalition, each face reflected determination and hope. She felt a surge of confidence knowing they were united in purpose. David entered the room with his loyalists, exuding an air of arrogance as he took his place at the head of the table. He glanced at Maya with a smirk, confident that he could regain control of the narrative. The tension between them was electric as they prepared to face off in what would be a defining moment for Apex Solutions. As the meeting commenced, both sides presented their cases passionately. Maya articulated her vision for change with clarity and conviction, drawing on personal stories from employees who had faced challenges within the company. Her allies chimed in with powerful testimonials that highlighted the need for reform. David countered with aggressive tactics, attempting to undermine Maya's credibility by questioning her qualifications and dismissing her proposals as unrealistic. He relied on fear tactics, warning employees that change could lead to chaos within the organization. The room buzzed with energy as emotions ran high. Employees began to voice their opinions more openly, some expressing support for Maya while others hesitated under David's pressure. The atmosphere shifted as it became clear that this confrontation would not end easily. Maya felt her heart race as she navigated through David's attacks while trying to maintain control of the conversation. She knew she had to stay focused and rally her allies to counter his claims effectively. With everything on the line, both sides braced themselves for what lay ahead, a clash that would test their resolve and commitment like never before. As the confrontation continued, Maya and her allies felt the weight of the moment pressing down on them. The room was filled with tension, but amidst the chaos, there was a sense of purpose that had developed over time. Each member of the coalition reflected on how far they had come and what they had learned throughout this journey. In a quiet moment, Maya glanced at Olivia, who had been by her side from the beginning. They shared a knowing look, one that spoke volumes about their shared experiences and struggles. Maya remembered the early days when she felt invisible, working as a janitor while dreaming of a better workplace for everyone. She thought about the countless times she had been dismissed and overlooked, moments that fueled her determination to fight for change. Flashbacks flooded her mind, the first time she stood up in front of a group of employees to share her vision, the laughter that erupted during their presentation when a colleague accidentally displayed cat memes instead of graphs, and the day they all came together to strategize against David's sabotage. Each moment had shaped her resolve and strengthened their bond. Olivia also reflected on her journey. She recalled how she had once hesitated to speak up in meetings, fearing judgment from those in power. Now, she stood confidently beside Maya, ready to advocate for change. The transformation she experienced was profound, and it inspired others around her to find their voices as well. As they continued to navigate the confrontation with David, other allies shared their reflections too. One colleague from finance spoke about how he had once felt trapped in a system that ignored his contributions. He remembered the moment he decided to join Maya's coalition, realizing that he could no longer stay silent. That decision had empowered him and others to stand up for what they believed in. Another ally recounted how she had faced discrimination within the company but found strength in Maya's leadership. She remembered attending one of the early meetings where Maya encouraged everyone to share their stories. That moment had been pivotal for her. It was when she realized that change was possible if they worked together. As these memories surfaced, Maya felt a surge of energy within her team. They were not just fighting against David, they were fighting for something greater, a workplace where everyone felt valued and respected. The lessons they had learned along the way were guiding them through this pivotal moment. Maya took a deep breath and addressed her allies once more. She reminded them that their journey was about more than just this meeting, it was about creating lasting change within Apex Solutions. They had come too far to turn back now, and together they could overcome any obstacles in their path. With renewed determination, they re-engaged with the confrontation at hand. As David continued to challenge them, Maya and her allies countered his claims with confidence, drawing on their shared experiences and the lessons learned throughout their journey. They stood united against opposition. Each flashback served as a reminder of their strength and resilience, a testament to how far they had come together. They were ready for whatever lay ahead, committed to transforming Apex Solutions into a place where every voice mattered and respect reigned supreme. With every word spoken and every point made, they solidified their resolve to fight for change, not just for themselves, but for every employee who longed for a better future within the company. The stakes were high, but so was their determination as they prepared for the ultimate confrontation that would define their journey once and for all. As the board meeting approached, the air was thick with anticipation and tension. Maya and her allies knew that this was the moment they had been preparing for, a pivotal point that would determine the future direction of Apex Solutions. The stakes had never been higher, and they were acutely aware that every word spoken could have lasting consequences. Maya felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety as she gathered with her coalition in a conference room before the meeting. They reviewed their strategies one last time, ensuring that everyone was clear on their roles and ready to present their case. Each member of the group understood the importance of unity. They had come too far to let anything tear them apart now. As they discussed their points, Maya noticed a shift in some of her allies' expressions. The pressure of the impending confrontation weighed heavily on them, and she could sense the fear of potential backlash from David's faction. She reminded them that they were not just fighting for themselves, but for every employee who had ever felt marginalized within the company. Meanwhile, David and his loyalists were also preparing for the board meeting. They gathered in a separate room, strategizing on how to maintain control over the narrative. David was determined to undermine Maya's credibility and dismiss her proposals as unrealistic. He knew that if he could sway even a few members of the board, it could tip the scales back in his favor. As the time for the meeting drew closer, tensions escalated on both sides. Employees whispered in hallways about what might happen during this crucial gathering. Some expressed support for Maya's vision, while others remained loyal to David, unsure of how to navigate the shifting dynamics. When the board members finally entered the meeting room, Maya felt a surge of adrenaline. She took her place at the front alongside her allies, ready to present their vision for change. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation as everyone settled into their seats. David stood at his end of the table, exuding confidence as he prepared to counter Maya's proposals. He had spent considerable time crafting his arguments and was determined to protect his position at all costs. The tension between him and Maya was palpable as they exchanged glances across the table. As the meeting commenced, Maya took a deep breath and began her presentation. She outlined their initiatives clearly, drawing on personal stories and data that highlighted the need for change within Apex Solutions. Her allies chimed in with support, reinforcing her points and sharing their own experiences. However, as expected, David wasted no time in launching his counterattack. He questioned Maya's qualifications and dismissed her proposals as impractical. He attempted to sow doubt among board members by painting a picture of chaos if her initiatives were implemented. The tension in the room escalated as both sides presented their cases passionately. Employees watched closely, aware that this confrontation would test not only alliances, but also their collective resolve to advocate for change. Maya felt her heart race as she navigated through David's attacks while trying to maintain control of the conversation. She knew that she had to stay focused and rally her allies to counter his claims effectively. With every point made by David, she could see some board members wavering in their support. As discussions intensified, it became clear that alliances were being tested in real time. Some board members seemed swayed by David's arguments, while others leaned toward supporting Maya's vision. The outcome hung in a delicate balance, with every moment feeling crucial. Maya reminded herself of everything they had accomplished together, the laughter shared during tough times, the stories exchanged that fueled their determination, and the bonds formed through shared struggles. She knew that this was more than just a battle for initiatives, it was about creating a workplace where respect reigned supreme. With each passing moment in this high-stakes environment, both sides prepared for what would be a decisive showdown, a confrontation that would shape not only 𝗧𝗧's future but also the future direction of Apex Solutions itself. As tensions reached a boiling point, it became clear that this meeting would be a defining moment in their journey toward transformation and equality within their workplace. As the board meeting reached its climax, the tension in the room was palpable. 𝗧𝗧 stood at the forefront, ready to defend her vision for Apex Solutions. David, sensing his influence slipping away, was determined to launch one final attack against her leadership. The discussions intensified as David challenged 𝗧𝗧's proposals with renewed vigor. He claimed that her initiatives would lead to chaos and financial instability, using fear tactics to sway the board members. Some of them seemed uncertain, caught between David's authoritative presence and 𝗧𝗧's passionate plea for change. Just when it seemed like David might regain control, an unexpected ally emerged from the back of the room. A senior executive who had previously remained neutral stood up, voicing her support for 𝗧𝗧. She shared her own experiences of feeling marginalized within the company and expressed her belief in the need for a cultural shift. This moment shocked everyone, including David, who had assumed he had solidified his base of support. 𝗧𝗧 felt a surge of hope as more employees began to speak up in favor of her vision. They shared stories of their struggles and how they longed for a workplace where respect and collaboration were prioritized. The tide was turning, and 𝗧𝗧 could sense the shift in momentum. However, David was not ready to back down. He attempted to discredit the executive who had spoken out, questioning her motives and suggesting that she was simply trying to undermine his authority. His words dripped with condescension as he tried to sow doubt among those who were beginning to support 𝗧𝗧. 𝗧𝗧 stood firm, refusing to let David's tactics intimidate her or her allies. She addressed the board directly, reminding them of their responsibility to create an inclusive environment where every employee felt valued. She emphasized that true leadership meant listening to all voices and making decisions based on collaboration rather than fear. As the confrontation escalated, it became evident that alliances were being tested in real time. Some board members began shifting their support toward 𝗧𝗧, inspired by her courage and authenticity. The atmosphere crackled with energy as both sides prepared for what could be a decisive moment in their battle for control over Apex Solutions. In a dramatic turn of events, another ally from 𝗧𝗧's coalition revealed evidence of David's past mismanagement, financial reports that showed how his decisions had negatively impacted the company's culture and performance. This revelation sent shockwaves through the room, further eroding David's credibility. 𝗧𝗧 seized this opportunity to reinforce her message about accountability and the need for change within Apex Solutions. She urged everyone present to consider not just their immediate interests, but also the long-term health of the organization and its employees. The climax reached a boiling point as David realized he was losing ground. In a last-ditch effort to regain control, he attempted to launch a personal attack on 𝗧𝗧, questioning her qualifications and experience once more. But this time, 𝗧𝗧 was ready. She calmly countered his claims with facts about her journey and the support she had garnered from employees across all levels of the company. With every word she spoke, 𝗧𝗧 felt empowered by the unity of her allies standing beside her. They were no longer just a group advocating for change, they were a force determined to reshape Apex Solutions into a place where respect reigned supreme. As emotions ran high and tensions peaked, it became clear that this meeting would not only define Maya's future but also determine the direction of Apex Solutions itself. With unexpected alliances forming and shocking betrayals being revealed, the outcome hung in a delicate balance. In this explosive moment during the board meeting, Maya stood firm against David's final attempt to undermine her leadership. The stakes were higher than ever as both sides braced themselves for what lay ahead, a confrontation that would shape not only their destinies but also the future of every employee at Apex Solutions. As the confrontation reached a fever pitch, Maya felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. David's voice boomed as he attempted to regain control, throwing accusations and doubts in her direction. The tension in the room was palpable, and it seemed like everything was hanging by a thread. Just when it felt like all hope might be lost for David, an unexpected moment of comic relief unfolded. In the heat of the argument, David gestured wildly while making a particularly emphatic point. As he leaned forward, his cup of coffee teetered precariously on the edge of the table. In a split second, it tipped over, spilling hot coffee all over his crisp white shirt. The room fell silent for a heartbeat as everyone processed what had just happened. Then, laughter erupted from the audience. Employees couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of the moment. Even some of David's loyalists stifled their laughter, caught off guard by the sudden turn of events. David stood frozen for a moment, shock etched on his face as he realized what had just occurred. The tension that had filled the room moments before dissipated, replaced by a wave of unexpected humor. Maya seized this opportunity to lighten the mood further. She made a light-hearted comment about how even leaders need to watch their coffee cups during intense discussions. This remark brought more laughter, and for a brief moment, it united everyone in shared amusement. David, flustered and embarrassed, attempted to regain his composure but was visibly rattled by the incident. He quickly grabbed napkins to dab at his shirt, trying to save face while the laughter echoed around him. The comic relief provided a much-needed break from the tension and allowed Maya and her allies to regroup. As laughter filled the room, Maya felt a renewed sense of confidence wash over her. This moment reminded everyone that they were all human, capable of making mistakes and experiencing mishaps, even someone like David who had tried so hard to project an image of control and authority. With the atmosphere lightened, Maya took advantage of the situation to refocus everyone's attention on their shared goals. She reminded them that while humor could ease tension, they were still there to advocate for meaningful change within Apex Solutions. Laughter lingered in the air as they transitioned back into serious discussions. Maya's allies rallied around her once more, emboldened by the unexpected turn of events. They felt invigorated and ready to continue fighting for what was right. As David attempted to regain control of the meeting with only partial success, Maya knew that this moment had shifted something fundamental in their confrontation. It was not just about policies or initiatives anymore, it was about resilience and unity in the face of adversity. With renewed determination and laughter still echoing in their minds, Maya and her allies prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead. They were ready to stand firm against David's attempts to undermine them and fight for a future where every voice mattered at Apex Solutions. The stakes remained high, but now they faced them together, united by purpose and strengthened by shared experiences that had brought them to this defining moment in their journey. As the board meeting reached its conclusion, Maya felt a surge of hope and determination. The laughter that had lightened the atmosphere just moments before now served as a reminder of the strength found in unity. With David's attempts to undermine her credibility faltering, 𝗧𝗧 sensed that they were on the brink of a significant victory. After a heated exchange of ideas and perspectives, the board members began to weigh the evidence presented by both sides. 𝗧𝗧's allies stood firm, reinforcing her vision and sharing their own experiences that highlighted the need for change within Apex Solutions. The tide was turning in their favor, and she felt a renewed sense of confidence. As the final votes were cast, 𝗧𝗧 held her breath, knowing that this moment could define not only her future but also the future of every employee at Apex Solutions. When the results were announced, a wave of relief washed over her as it became clear that the board had chosen to support her initiatives. The decision marked a pivotal moment in their journey toward transformation. With her position secured, 𝗧𝗧 stood before her colleagues, ready to outline her vision for the future of Apex Solutions. She spoke passionately about creating an inclusive workplace where respect and empowerment were at the forefront. She emphasized that every employee deserved to have their voice heard and valued. 𝗧𝗧 shared specific plans for initiatives that would foster collaboration across departments, promote diversity in leadership roles, and ensure that feedback from all employees would be taken seriously. She envisioned a culture where everyone felt safe to express their ideas and concerns, a place where innovation could thrive because every perspective mattered. As she spoke, 𝗧𝗧 could see the spark of inspiration in the eyes of her colleagues. They had witnessed firsthand how far they had come together, overcoming obstacles and challenges along the way. Her words resonated deeply with them, igniting a sense of purpose and excitement for what lay ahead. 𝗧𝗧 concluded her speech by encouraging everyone to rise above expectations and challenge the status quo. She reminded them that they were not just employees, they were change-makers capable of shaping the future of Apex Solutions. The room erupted in applause as her colleagues rallied around her vision, eager to be part of this transformative journey. In that triumphant moment, 𝗧𝗧 felt a profound sense of accomplishment, not just for herself but for every individual who had ever felt marginalized or disrespected within the company. They had fought hard for this victory, and now it was time to build a brighter future together. As employees left the meeting with renewed energy and determination, 𝗧𝗧 knew that this was just the beginning. The road ahead would require continued effort and commitment from everyone involved. But with respect and empowerment as guiding principles, she felt confident that they could achieve greatness together. 𝗧𝗧 standing at the helm of a movement, a leader ready to inspire others to rise above expectations and create lasting change at Apex Solutions. With allies by her side and a shared vision for respect and equality, they were prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead on their journey toward transformation. Together, they would build a workplace where every voice mattered, fostering an environment where everyone could thrive.